Zara flung her heels across the room the moment she walked in, the sharp clack hitting the wall like a gunshot. "Ugh, I cannot deal with broke men again," she snapped, tossing her bra into a corner and collapsing face first onto her velvet sofa. Her phone buzzed non-stop beside her. Messages, missed calls, DM requests. All from men she had lined up like auditions. She rolled her eyes. "Please, I beg. One at a time." This was her world. Fast, curated, luxury-fed, stress-free. Or at least that's what she told everyone. To the world, Zara was the poster girl for soft life. Designer bags, weekend trips to Ghana, brunches where the bill never touched her fingers. But behind her glossy Instagram feed was someone who hadn't worked a day in 2 years. Every comfort she had was built on who she could charm, not what she could earn. She stretched her legs, flicking through photos from earlier that day. A fake shopping spree shoot she did in front of a boutique she didn't buy anything from. "Soft life chose me," she said to herself, smiling at her caption. She zoomed in on her face. "Girl, you are fine. God took his time." Her roommate, Tola, poked her head from the hallway. "You're back early. How did the date go?" Zara hissed. "Disaster. The man ordered water. Water, Tola, as in H2O. Tola blinked. "Maybe he wasn't thirsty." "No, he wasn't rich. That's the problem. I can't waste makeup on someone who says, 'Let's split the bill.' That's poverty mentality." Tola sighed, leaning on the door frame. "Zara, honestly, aren't you tired? Maybe it's time to—" "To what? Work?" Zara scoffed, sitting up. "Me? Work? Tola, please don't offend me. My destiny is enjoyment." She stood and twirled dramatically, letting her silk robe flare out. "See this face, see this body, see this packaging. I was created for comfort." Tola didn't argue. There was no point. Zara lived in her own world, a bubble of delusion that social media had applauded into existence. Later that night, Zara dressed again. Sleek black dress, gold anklet, lip gloss shining like oil. She had another date lined up with someone new, someone promising, someone she hoped wasn't another water-ordering disappointment. The restaurant glowed softly when she walked in, and heads turned. Zara had that kind of presence, dramatic without trying, loud without speaking. She spotted the man, Daniel, at a corner table. He stood when he saw her, smiling politely. "Wow," he said. "You look even more beautiful in person." She smirked. "Thank you. I know." He laughed awkwardly, not sure how to respond. They ordered food, expensive food, and Zara relaxed a bit. At least this one wasn't counting pennies. The conversation flowed, though mostly she spoke about herself, her lifestyle, her beauty routine, the trip she wanted to take once Bay upgrades me to business class. Daniel listened, nodding, occasionally smiling. He wasn't loud. He wasn't flashy. He was soft-spoken, observant, almost too calm for someone Zara expected to fund her next few months. But then he casually mentioned, "My company just opened a new branch in Lekki Phase 1, so I moved here recently." Zara's eyes widened. "You have a company?" "Yes." "And you're the owner?" "Yes." Her entire posture changed, shoulders back, voice softer, smile sweeter. The transformation was instant and shameless. Daniel caught the shift, but he didn't comment. After dinner, he insisted on driving her home. She pretended to resist. No, it's fine. I can call Uber." But she was already halfway into the passenger seat when she finished the sentence. His car smelled like quiet wealth, leather, new upholstery, something expensive yet humble. No loud logo, no gold-plated nonsense, just understated richness. They talked until they got to her house. And as she stepped out, he said, "I'd like to see you again." "I'd love that," she said sweetly. When she entered the house, she squealed so loudly, Tola ran out thinking robbery had occurred. "Did he propose?" Tola gasped. "No, but he's rich. He owns a company." Tola rubbed her forehead. "Zara, please don't use people." Zara grinned, tossing her wig onto the couch. "My dear, I'm not using anyone. I'm simply collecting the blessings meant for me." The following weeks were a blur of luxury. Daniel took her on boat cruises, bought her gifts just because, and even paid her rent 3 months in advance when she joked about her landlord being annoying. Zara had never felt more secure, more pampered, more chosen. But something was off. She noticed he never let her visit his house, never let her meet his business partners, never told her his exact job title, yet he always provided. She ignored the red flags because the comfort was too sweet. One night, as they ate dinner at a rooftop restaurant, she leaned closer and said, "Baby, I was thinking, maybe we should take a trip to Dubai next month." Daniel didn't smile. "We'll see." "We'll see," Zara echoed. "What does that mean?" He picked up his glass calmly. "It means we'll see." It was the first time he didn't bend quickly to her requests. It startled her. When she pressed more, he said, "Zara, do you ever think about earning your own money?" She flinched as if slapped. "Excuse me." He met her eyes. "I'm serious. What happens if all this soft life suddenly stops? What will you do?" She laughed harshly. "Me? Stop soft life? Please, that's not my portion." He didn't argue. He simply said, "Just remember, life always collects what it gives." She waved him off. "You sound like my mother a beg." The next week, Daniel traveled unexpectedly. He didn't tell her where. His phone remained on, but he responded, late, dry chats, no gifts, no spontaneous transfers. Zara panicked. "What is happening?" she muttered as she paced her room. "Why is he acting weird?" She called him repeatedly until he finally picked up. "Zara, I'm busy," he said calmly. "Busy how? You've never been this distant. What's going on?" "We'll talk when I get back." Her stomach dropped. That phrase, "we'll talk." Nothing good ever followed it. 3 days later, a message arrived. "Come to this address at 6 p.m., alone." Zara dressed like a trophy wife, meeting her billionaire husband. She took a cab to the address, expecting maybe a surprise, maybe a new apartment he bought her, maybe. Her heart froze. It was a police station. She stepped back, confused. No, surely not. Maybe it was beside a police station. Maybe. "Zara Adeoye," an officer called. She nodded slowly. "Come with me." Her legs felt like rubber as she followed him inside. And there, in a small room, sat Daniel, arms folded, face blank. "Daniel." "What's happening?" she whispered. He didn't answer. Another officer said, "We brought you here for questioning." "Questioning about what?" Daniel finally spoke. "Zara, you scammed the wrong man this time." Her mouth fell open. "What are you talking about?" "You remember that night we met? You weren't the only one observing. I had you checked, investigated." Her pulse hammered loudly. "You've taken money from 6 different men in the last 2 years," he continued. "Gifts, rent, transfers, all under false pretenses." Daniel, please, I didn't scam anyone. They gave willingly." "That's not the issue," he said coldly. "One of them filed a complaint. Fraud by deception." The officer added, "Your lifestyle is being reviewed. Evidence is substantial." Zara staggered back. "Daniel, why are you doing this? I thought you cared about me." He stood. "I did. Enough to warn you. But you were too comfortable." too sure nothing could catch up with you. He walked past her. Soft life isn't a crime, he said, pausing at the door. But lying to survive it is. Her voice cracked. Please don't leave me here. Daniel. Daniel, wait. He didn't look back. Her world cracked. And that was only the beginning.
Zara's knees buckled, and she dropped into the plastic chair like someone whose bones had dissolved. The officer slid a file across the table. Photos, screenshots, bank transfers, chat logs, her own words staring back at her like ghosts with open mouths. She whispered, "This is not happening. This is not happening to me." The officer leaned forward. "You can cooperate or things get difficult." Zara's throat tightened. "But I didn't do anything illegal. They wanted to spend on me." The officer tapped the documents. "Did you promise relationships you never intended to pursue? Did you accept money under emotional pretenses? Did you misrepresent your situation to gain financial advantage?" Each question hit her like a stone. She didn't answer because the truth sat loudly in her silence. The officer sighed. "Sit tight. We'll be back." The door shut behind him, leaving Zara alone in that suffocating room. The air felt too heavy. Her heart thrashed. She stared at the table and whispered shakily, "God, please, not like this. Not like this." Minutes crawled. Hours felt like days. When the door finally opened again, she jumped. A female officer stepped in with a gentler tone. "You're being released for now. It's not a formal arrest yet, but you will be contacted. There's an investigation." Zara blinked rapidly. "So? I can go?" "Yes." She scrambled out of the room, desperate for air. But the moment she stepped outside, her phone exploded with notifications. She frowned, unlocking it, and froze. What is this? Her WhatsApp had blown up. Instagram, too. Someone had posted her name, her pictures, and details of her sugar lifestyle fraud case. Every blog had picked it up already. Her face, her photos, her voice notes. Everything's leaked. She dropped her phone in the parking lot and screamed. People turned. Tola called at that moment, her voice frantic. "Zara, come home. Come home now." Zara ran into the nearest cab, heart beating like thunder. The ride felt endless. She bounced her leg, muttering, "This cannot be happening. My life cannot end like this. God, please, please." When she burst into her apartment, Tola was pacing with both hands on her head. "What did you do?" she cried. "I didn't scam anyone. They gave me money. I didn't force them." "That's not how the world sees it," Tola shouted. "Zara, your name is everywhere. Twitter, blogs, gossip pages, everywhere." Zara grabbed her head. "I just wanted soft life, Tola. I didn't hurt anybody." But the truth clawed its way into her voice. She had hurt people. Maybe not physically, but emotionally. Manipulation was still manipulation. A hard knock sounded at the door. Zara jumped. "Is it police?" Tola peeked through the peephole. "No, it's your landlord." "My landlord? At this time?" Tola hesitated. "Zara, I think you need to open." Her hands shaking, Zara unlocked the door. The landlord stood there, arms crossed. "Good evening, Zara," he said coldly. "I'm serving you notice. 30 days. Zara's face crumbled. "What? Why? My rent is paid." "Yes, but your situation is bringing attention to my property. I don't want trouble." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "Please, sir. Please. This is the only place I've ever felt—" "I'm sorry," he said flatly. 30 days. He walked away. Zara shut the door softly and leaned her forehead against it, crying silently. Not loud sobs, just broken, tired tears that carried the weight of everything she thought she escaped. Tola rested a hand on her shoulder. Zara, you need to call your mother. Zara shook violently. I can't face her. She told me this life would disgrace me. She warned me every time. I didn't listen. Tola squeezed her arm. Call her, please. Zara slid to the floor with her phone in hand, staring at her mother's contact for a long, painful moment. Then she pressed call. Her mother answered on the first ring. Zara? Just hearing her voice shattered her. Mummy, she whispered. Can I come home? There was silence, a long one. Then her mother said gently, I've been waiting for you to ask. Zara cried harder. Come home, her mother repeated softly. We will talk when you get here. The line ended. That night, Zara packed quietly. No designer bags. She had returned most to owners. No fancy shoes. She had sold many for quick cash when Daniel went cold. Just a single duffel bag with the clothes that were truly hers. As she zipped the bag, she whispered, Soft life. Is this how you repay me? No answer came. The next morning she left the apartment without looking back. Tola hugged her tightly outside. Zara, rebuild. Start again. You can. Zara nodded weakly. Thank you for not judging me. Tola smiled sadly. I did judge you, but I also loved you. They parted with tears. At her mother's house in Ibadan, Zara stood outside the wooden gate, trembling. She lifted her hand and knocked once. The gate opened immediately. Her mother stood there, older than Zara remembered, tired, but still warm. Zara broke. Mummy, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Her mother pulled her into a hug. Ah, my daughter. Come inside. Shame is not the end of life. Zara sobbed into her shoulder. My life is finished. No, her mother whispered. Your old life is finished. And that's good. God removed what was killing you. Inside, Zara sat on the small couch she hadn't touched in years. Everything looked smaller, quieter, painfully real. Her mother brought her water and sat across from her. Tell me everything. And for the first time in years, Zara spoke the truth, the whole truth, without filters, without poses, without the illusion of control. She cried. She confessed. She admitted her pride, her greed, her laziness, her manipulation. Her mother listened without interrupting once. When she finished, her mother took her hand. Zara, you were chasing a life that wasn't yours. You forgot who you are, but you're here now. Your feet have touched ground. This is where healing begins. Zara wiped her face. What do I do now? You start from zero, her mother said calmly. You look for honest work. You build your own life. You stop depending on men. You learn humility. You learn discipline. Zara nodded slowly, the words piercing but necessary. The next months were humbling. Zara got a job as a customer service assistant at a small supermarket. Some customers recognized her from the scandal and whispered. She swallowed the shame. Some laughed behind her back. She ignored them. She worked hard, something she hadn't done in years. She saved money. She apologized privately to people she had manipulated. She prayed again. She learned again. She became human again. One evening after work, she stood outside the store, watching the sunset. She smiled, a small, tired, but genuine smile. For the first time in her life, she felt something she never felt during her soft life years. Peace. She looked into the camera of her mind, the part of her that still imagined telling her story someday, and said quietly, If you're watching this, don't chase a life you cannot sustain. Build, don't pretend, because the soft life you don't earn will one day collapse on your head. And if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss another episode. Your support keeps stories like this alive. Fade out.